Hi and welcome to Rock Your Visibility Convos. I am Ruby McGuire, aka Queen of Connection, and I'm talking today to Jo Bendle, productivity coach and mentor. So Jo is coming all the way from Bali. So what time is it over there with you, Jo, right now?
Well, actually, I'm in Australia at the moment. It's 7:30.
Still, you're Australia. I thought you'd gone back.
Next week, yeah.
Globetrotting, honey, globetrotting. Okay, so Jo helps her clients to achieve more by doing less without feeling overwhelmed. And as business owners, we all know what overwhelm can feel like. So I'm just going to ask Jo some questions and get her to talk about her visibility and what she does, and hopefully she'll share some productivity tips along the way too. So I would love you, first of all, Jo. Welcome. Lovely to have you all the way from Australia. I can't believe that.
Thank you.
I'd love you to share with some of my listeners how you got to where you are today and what you're doing.
Okay. Well, hi. Thank you very much for having me. This is my first ever blab. So yeah, it's been quite a journey, I think. I've actually been organizing people in different forms for 20 years now. But for the last 4 years, I've been working for myself and building my business by testing different business models to really find what works for both me and what gets good results for my clients. And because my attitude is really to treat everything like it's an experiment, because that's how we learn what works and doesn't work for us personally.
Yeah.
And I now no longer look at what others are doing. Instead, I'm really in tune to what feels good for me to deliver. And as soon as I started being even more authentically me, that's when my business took off. And I think it's really important to share that, that there aren't really any rules. You just need to do what feels fun and easy, because otherwise you won't show up every day and get the results that you desire or that you're capable of.
No, and there is so much out there that it makes you feel overwhelmed, doesn't it? Because you should be doing this, you should be doing that, and all of those different things, and they just add another layer of pressure to you.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think that on that point, it's just that we can do absolutely anything, but we can't do everything.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. So you were helping friends and that kind of thing. Tell us a little bit about, because you're over in Bali normally, you're in Australia at the moment, but tell us a little bit about that as well. What prompted you to go out to Bali?
So my dream for my business right from day one was to be able to work from anywhere in the world. And I guess I didn't plan for it to be 100% location independent, which is exactly what it is now. But it was always that I wanted to be able to work from anywhere. So I knew when I was building my business, the model had to be that I could do it from anywhere. And it's just evolved. And, just the way businesses are now, it's really easy for me to run a business online. And again, I think this is about just finding out what lights you up, and what is it that your desires are, and creating a business around that, because that's what makes it easy for us and keeps us going when procrastination and stuff hits in.
Definitely. So tell us a little bit more about you and what you do then.
So I'm a productivity coach and mentor, and what that means is that I help smart women get more done in their business in less time. So that's through guiding women to work fast, to work fun, and to work on target. I think you need these three things. And I've coached women obviously all over the world to ditch overwhelm and overcome productivity blocks, and so that they can achieve their big goals. And like we were saying, as for me, I really believe that productivity is simply a tool that will allow us to easily and effortlessly achieve our dreams. And that's why I'm passionate about it, because I've got my own formula, it means that I can achieve my dream to work from anywhere. And I think it's productivity that's the tool that's got me here.
Yeah. So I don't want to put you on the spot here, but I'd love to learn a little bit more about your little strategy of the target and those kind of things. Talk us through those three areas just briefly.
Yeah, so basically, I really think that you need all three to be on track in your business. So to achieve effortless productivity. So if we don't have fun, then we basically, we need to be able to enjoy it. So, we don't need to rely on motivation, because if it's something that we find fun, then we'll be able to get up and do it. And then if we're not doing it productively, then obviously we're not going to achieve our dreams. And if it's not on target, so quite often what happens is that people will be really focused and very productive, and they're off they go on that road being really focused, but they're going up the wrong road. They're going in completely the wrong direction. Now I think if you have two, like if you only have fast and on target, then you're going to burn out. Okay. And if you know, and that's the thing. And if you've just got fun and that's basically it. If you don't have all three, we don't achieve effortless productivity.
And that's giving you the balance of that triangle then.
Yeah.
Okay. So visibility, obviously I want to talk to you about visibility because that's what I do. And I think it's really important that you're visible in your business. If you don't shout out about your business, who's going to do it for you? Is it something that you're very visible? So is it something you've struggled with, or does it come naturally to you?
I would say it's work in progress for us all, right? No, it definitely didn't. I'm consistently working on my own visibility now, but it wasn't always that way. You know, I used to find it hard. I wanted to hide, and I didn't feel brave enough. And it was definitely a confidence thing. And even having pictures on my website was a real step outside the comfort zone. But I think that's just part of the journey. You know, we have to just get started. And we will always be blessed. And I'm really aware of this about the journey that we've all chosen to go on, is that we're always going to be blasting through blocks and insecurities. And we're only going to come across new ones when we up level. Yeah. So it's just embrace the journey, because if you don't, you're going to stay where you are. So yeah, that's my advice. No, it wasn't easy, and still isn't, but I found strategies for me to do it. Yeah.
Share a couple of those strategies on how you've overcome those challenges.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, I got comfortable being uncomfortable. I think that's really important. And a big one is that I treat everything in my business as an experiment. So what is the worst that could happen? And it feels easier for me to achieve when I know that it's an experiment, you know, and it just feels like it's easier to do. And the other thing is that I'm actually really on this mission to be completely authentically me, which actually just makes life a bit easier too, because I've only got to show up and be me, and that feels good and it feels easy. But I had to work through some blocks of my own of, like, you know, what will people think? And I just think that it's just get started and it gets easier and easier.
Yeah, and I think I use the phrase, just be the fabulous you, because it is about showing up, being you, because I used to have two different personas, and you can't live like that. It's too hard. People see through it. You know, when I was years back when I was HR, a completely different person to you know, the fun person that comes out. And I think it's so powerful, and it helps you to be different because people get to know, like, and trust you. So it's going to attract more clients as well. So it's a really powerful thing. Brilliant. So lots of inner work then.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I talk about with a lot of my clients. It's really important.
It's all about, isn't it though? It's like 80% mindset, the whole journey. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And if you don't do that work, then you just come unstuck over and over and over again. And definitely in terms of visibility, you just stuck. And that's where you get into procrastination, and then we have to send people over your way.
It's a whole world of pain. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, brilliant. So if you had one top tip to give to listeners about being more visible in your business, what would you share?
I think the big one for me is to take imperfect action. I talk about imperfect action quite a lot because I actually have built my business on imperfect action, and it didn't break it. You know, it's like if you get stuck wanting things to be perfect, then you never get yourself out there. And the other side of that is just remember that nothing sensational happens inside your comfort zone.
Oh, that's nice. I like that. That's brilliant. That's a tweetable, people. I love that. That's really great. But I do think that whole thing around being an experiment, and I've just been doing an experiment with something, and I haven't thought about it as that's what I do in my whole business. I really love that, and I hope people take a lot away from that, because it does take much pressure off. You know, everything that's been successful in business, really, when you think about it, has been tested and tweaked and adapted to talk about. But treating it as an experiment just sounds a lot more fun, like you're concocting all these different things together.
Yeah, and it's making it easy. What feels easy for you to do? Because we've got to find the easy route, otherwise we're going to get stuck, you know? Yeah.
Absolutely. Brilliant. So what plans have you got to raise your visibility in your business?
I think it's just a bit, actually, for me, it's about consistency. So I'm now hosting webinars every month. I put free challenges out. I've got like a really good sort of strategy for engaging with people and building connections. So I actually work quite hard to build relationships with people because, like you mentioned, the whole know, like, and trust factor. And that comes back to me being authentic in everything I do. So yeah, for me, I think the word is consistency, just to keep going, keep really putting great content out there and showing up as me.
Yeah, and it's showing up as you and showing up.
Yeah.
It's that consistency that over time makes such a difference. And I think relationship building's the biggest piece. Aside from niching, for me, I know that's the thing that's made the single biggest difference in bringing clients into my business, about connecting with people, connecting with your passion, so you know really what you're doing, connecting with your people, and then connecting with your message so people actually understand what you're doing and why and how you can help.
Yeah, so important. Yeah,
really important. So challenges, tell us a little bit about your challenges that you run. What kind of things do you do there?
Well, so the latest one I've done was an inbox challenge. So it's the inbox 0 challenge. 5 days, every day you get an action to do to get on top of your inbox, because in actual fact, it is not just a time suck. It takes up so much time, but also energetically. You know, people came onto the challenge with 10,000 emails in their inbox. Oh, I was just like, I can cope with it, but we can easily deal with that. So that was a really good one recently, because I think that's quite a big issue. But yeah, different things. Yeah, and I quite enjoy that.
Yeah, I've got a friend who's got the little red icon on the front with thousands. I don't know how you cope. It goes beyond the scrolling of the screen. I'm stressed.
Same here. Yeah, I don't like that. And I'm just, it's funny, and it's really interesting, because it's what you get used to, but we don't realise how that's impacting on our time and our productivity by just. I actually worry about how many things do you miss in your business, like how many client opportunities do you miss.
And then it's like you say, it's that mental energy of, oh no, look how much there is to do, and then that's going to push you straight into overwhelm, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
I actually had a challenge. I've got an online project manager that I work with, and actually we were talking about what areas I needed to work on for me to make sure things happen. I said one thing is just stop checking emails.
Oh yeah.
Set the whole commitment. I'm going to do 3 times a day. Did it happen? No, but I do use SaneBox. That does keep me sane. I think the top tip for that really is 2 top tips for emails. Then don't ever let it be the first thing that you do in the morning. So always do a business development sort of task before you check your emails, because otherwise your whole day is reactive to what other people want of you. And secondly, to schedule in, I say two blocks of 30 minutes, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, to manage your inbox. It's just, and have it closed the rest of the time, because it's a distraction. Yeah, it is. You have to physically close it, didn't you? And I tried a technique which you may have heard of, Focus, the productivity app.
Yeah.
I tried that, but unfortunately had shortcuts that I used for other things, and I kept on blocking myself out of everything. It was a disaster.
I've not used it.
It's okay, but not when it's got shortcuts that don't work with me. So there's lots of different tools and things out there that you can use for productivity. Have you got any top favourites that you'd share?
Probably for me would be Asana, my project management tool. I think that's had a love-hate relationship for a couple of years until I got it to a place that makes me feel in control. And so I now know I have a weekly review on a Friday afternoon, and it plans out my next week. And it just means that I feel in control, but I also would always end the week feeling accomplished, because I didn't see a whole list of things that I know I should be doing. I just saw the things that I've got to do today, Yeah.
And again, I can see where the whole overwhelm thing's coming back into that as well. So what projects have you got coming up for you? So I know you've had your 40 interviews for your 40th birthday with 3 minutes, and I was part of that, which was fantastic. It must have been an enormous undertaking, because these things always sound so simple when you first set them up.
Yeah.
It just has a life of its own, doesn't it? So what's next for you?
Well, yeah, it's a really, I would say thank you for coming on to the productivity party. And it was a great thing, but this is a good thing about what I mentioned earlier, is if you don't have fun in your projects, then it's not easy to complete. Now, 40 people is quite a lot, but I find it fun. Yeah. So otherwise I probably wouldn't have been able to do it. But yeah, so I work in 90-day sprints. So I've just wrapped up obviously the productivity party, and my group program has just finished. So I'm focusing purely on my one-on-one clients at the moment. The group program will launch again in the second half of the year. But right now, private coaching for those who are ready to do the things differently, that's my focus, and I really love watching the results that they get. And my real focus for this quarter is consistency for putting out great content for my tribe.
Mm-hmm. And how do you find the 90 days works with you? Something I've just recently started. I've noticed there's a lot of people reading the book, the 12, or something around the 12-week plan, or so, I can't remember the exact title. A lot of people are buying into this 90-day blocks. How do you find that works in practice for you and your clients?
Well, really well, actually, because and everyone's different. So, like, I'm actually not a long-term vision person. So for me, it means that I plan out in 90 days. When I'm really good, when I've only got a focus, like single focus or maybe 2 projects. And if I'm really aligned to it and it feels good, like, that's cool, I'll get it done. And it means that I can be really reactive. So if in this 90 days I realize, this is what my clients need, my next 90-day planning session can go, I can be reactive to what people need. Whereas if I planned out a year in advance, I'm less reactive to what needs to change in my business. So that's one of the reasons. And I think actually it's just about, it gives you a focus. So for my clients, what works is that they've got so many different ideas, they're creatives, and they've got all these different things. But as soon as we park them, that's cool, you can have all these ideas, but they're going to be parked. And we only look at them once a month, and we choose your focus. And that means that they can achieve their goals rather than getting distracted. Yeah.
And with your review process, when you work with your clients on it, do you check in at the beginning of the 90 days and the end, or do you go? Is it that they check in with you monthly and that kind of thing? How would that work in practice with you?
So for my clients that work through it with me, we check in weekly. So we start off with a 90-minute intensive where we really set the goals. What do you want to achieve? How do you want to feel in 90 days? But then we work together each week. And then there'll be focus points to check in. Are you on track? Is it still the right goal? Was it the right goal? And I'm a big fan of setting 7-day goals. So I think that if anybody, is struggling, let's just say, set yourself a really simple 7-day goal every week, because that alone means that you end the year having achieved 52 things, which is pretty amazing, Yeah.
Some really good gems here, Jo. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, how can people connect with you? Are there other things that you want to share with us before you go? If we covered everything you want to cover, I guess I should ask that first before we...
I have an absolute head full of strategies for productivity. I could talk about it all day long. But I think that actually the point is that actually if you just pick out 1 or 2 that you've heard today and try them and implement them, and then review at the end of the week, try it for 7 days, treat it like an experiment, and review. This is the point. We have to review. And maybe just one more thing to throw in might be to introduce an end of day review, just so that you can, first of all, celebrate what I did achieve today. Don't always focus on what you didn't get done. And then, and really then planning out for tomorrow. What did I learn? Did I try and do too much? And so really reviewing all the time, because it takes time to create a productivity formula that works for you. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and it does have to work for you, because you can have all the tools in the world, but they're not specific, are they? I've got clients who love to work on 45-minute blocks. I use the Tomato Time tool that for her study. And even noticing her, she was finding 45-minute blocks that they were suggesting at school was too much. And, it is finding your own way, isn't it, really?
Yeah, definitely. It is. There's no one size fits all. It's finding out what works for you. And also, there will be one thing that you will try that will impact everything else really positively. And it's just trying little bits of things, throwing everything at it until you find that one thing that really impacts everything and makes everything feel easy. That's my, I think it's exciting.
Easy. We want easy and fun.
Yeah.
And definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. That's what it's about.
Yeah, absolutely. So how can people connect with you if they want to find out more about you?
There is my website, which is jobendle.com, or my Facebook group where I am every day is Productivity Boosters. So you're welcome to come say hi.
Brilliant.
There's lots of, every day we have themed days of different things to get involved with and interact. So it's a really great place to build relationships as well for business. Brilliant.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure chatting with you today, or this evening in your world. Really lovely to have you, and thank you for shared some great visibility and productivity tips. What I love people to do is actually tell us what action they've taken, because that's what these are all about. It's not just talking about it and listening to things. Oh, that's a good idea. I want people to implement. So it is all about taking the action. So
absolutely.
If you want to learn more about visibility, then you can come over to my group, which is Rock Your Fabulous Biz. And until next time, keep being productive. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.